Hey guys, TTL or Test the Limit here, and in today's video I just wanted to go over why and when you should focus Rift Herald. So on some games you're going to be able to get an early dragon before Rift Herald even spawns, such as this game. This is a minion isolated POV from the Kha'Zix VOD's YouTube channel. And I was watching this as I'm a Kha'Zix main, and I noticed something very key that he did this game, which I think that a lot of beginning junglers or even people that have played jungle for many years or are high elo that they can still learn from. So you can see that he gets the dragon, and we can look at the matchup and know that his team is Viego, Kha'Zix, LeBlanc, Sivir, and Thresh. And the enemy team is Jax, Yasuo, Lissandra, Karthus, and Nautilus. So he's against Karthus in the jungle, who is going to scale very, very hard. And generally speaking, their team does scale very, very hard. They have a Jax, Yasuo, and a Karthus. All three of which are going to scale very, very hard into the late game. So games like this, you're going to want to make sure that you get that Rift Herald and get that early gold lead so you can end the game earlier rather than later. So Kha'Zix in itself as a champion is fairly scaling. He scales a lot, you know, every 5 levels, 6 levels. At level 6, 11, and 16, he has those evolutions and he can evolve his abilities and he scales really, really hard. But compared to a Karthus, who is able to affect every single lane on the map and every single person on the enemy team with his ultimate, he's just not going to scale as hard, especially with the enemy team having the Yasuo and the Jax, who both scale very hard as well. So something you can do in games where the enemy scales harder than you do is you can go for that Rift Herald. So he was lucky enough to where he could get an early dragon because Karthus is so weak early and he had Prio in his lanes. But even if you can't get that early dragon, it's really good to focus Rift Herald in games like this, where getting that extra early gold from getting the Rift Herald and placing it in a lane to get that first tower, it can make the game much faster paced and make it where it's not going to be a 30-40 minute game. So we can see he gets Rift Herald here. And I'll just skip through. Like I said, this is on Kha'Zix VOD's YouTube channel. And the top only has 2 plates. So that would one-shot there if he wanted to go for that top tower. I'm not sure exactly what he ends up doing. But yeah, he ganks top. Doesn't use the Rift yet. Uses the fast back. Gank spot. And in my opinion, what he should do here is get this tower to around right here in HP, then use Rift. And what that does is it secures that the Rift Herald will one-shot the tower and secure the first tower. So hopefully that's what he does here. Okay, yep, he uses Rift Herald and then gets the tower in a range where the Rift Herald should just one-shot it. And the reason you do this is the lower HP the turret has, the more armor it gets and harder it is to kill. But when Rift Herald does its charge, it's true damage. It ignores that armor. So you want the lower HP the tower, the better. To get the most out of Rift Herald, you want it to have just a little over 3 plates. So they got top tower to 2 plates left, and then took an entire bot tower with this Rift Herald. He's 5-0 because he's taking advantage of the enemy Karthus in the jungle and the enemy Jax in the top lane. And his top laner is 5-1. So with that, he should be able to just carry the game. He can pick up another dragon in a minute if he wants to. Yep, he actually did. And then you can see he uses that early snowball to try and just keep the game fast-paced. You can see he's constantly in the Karthus' jungle. Even back here when we were looking, he was in the enemy's jungle before the second dragon. Like, he is constantly punishing the enemy team for even walking in their own jungle. And that's what you have to do against these very scaling, hard scaling teams, is you just have to punish them for any mistake they make and make sure you are taking advantage of your early lead. So using Rift Herald allowed him to expand that gold lead and just crush the enemy team. So it's 25-6 now. It's 18 minutes in the game. 18 minutes in the game, it's 7-30. And you can tell that he should be able to just end this game out. And yeah, they team fight in the middle, kill the enemy team, and then now they're just playing with their food, pretty much. But yeah, so that's why you want to focus Rift Herald and when to focus it. So you really just want to focus that Rift Herald when the enemy team scales harder, or when if you're in a game where you think you need to end it sooner rather than later, you're going to go for that Rift Herald. Because Dragon is something that takes a while to scale anyways, because you need 3-4 dragons for it to make like a huge difference and to get that soul, which is minimum 20 minutes. And that's if you get it off cooldown every 5 minutes, you know? It's going to be 25-30 minutes in the game at that point. But with Rift Herald, you can try and end the game at the 20-minute mark or even earlier. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time for the next video. Thanks.